For today's lesson, we are going to discuss on how to compute the present value of a simple interest. But before we proceed with the computation, let's define first the term present value. Okay? Now, present value or the principal amount is the amount of money borrowed or invested on the origin date. Now, to compute the present value, we need to get familiar with the formula, okay, with the formula that we are going to use or that we encounter in problem about simple interest. So, let's start first with the formula for the interest. Of course, from the formula of interest, maderive natin ang formula ni present value, which is P is equal to I over RT. Okay, so in this case, ang P natin, okay, yung I natin dito is the simple interest again. Ang P is the principal amount. R is the rate of interest. T or term or time in years. Okay, so ito yung usually ang ginagamit natin na formula kapag yung unknown is the present value then given si interest. Okay, so this is the formula that we are going to use. If given si interest, saka unknown si principal amount. Now, there are cases na ang given natin is the future value. Okay, so yung F natin dito is the future value or the maturity value. So that is F is equal to P quantity 1 plus R T. Okay, so this is the formula for the future value. Actually, from this formula, we can derive the formula for the present value if given to future value, and that is P is equal to F over 1 plus RT, where yung F natin dito is the future value, then i-divide lang natin by 1 plus the rate times the time. Okay? So, ito yung formula, okay, mga formulae na dapat nating i-remember or i-familiarize. And if possible, dapat memorize natin. Okay? So, let's proceed with our first example. Okay? So, when invested at an annual interest rate of 7%, an amount earned 11,200 of simple interest in 2 years. Okay? So, how much money was originally invested? So, from this problem, okay, as you can see, ang hahanapin natin dito is the money, okay, the amount of money that was originally invested. So, in this case, ang hinahanap natin dito is the present value. Okay? So, present value kasi the money, okay, the money that was originally invested. Okay? So, since alam natin kung ano yung hahanapin natin o kung ano yung goal natin, so, ang next natin gagawin is to identify. Okay? Identify natin what are the given. Ano yung mga given sa ating problem. Okay? First is, of course, we have the interest. Okay? The interest which is 11,200 pesos. Okay? That's our interest. Then, of course, we also have the rate. Okay? The rate which is 7%. Okay? So, to convert that one to decimal, ang gagawin lang natin is we just simply divide 7 over 100. That is equal to 0.07. Okay? Then, also, we have the T. Okay? Yung T natin is in 2 years. Okay? Interest in 2 years. So, that is, ang T natin is equal to 2. Okay? Now, since meron na tayong mga needed information natin para ma-solve natin si principal amount, we have the interest, the rate, and the time. So, that means we can now solve for our P. Then, the formula, okay, again, ang formula na gagamitin natin dito, of course, this one. P is equal to interest over RT. So again, ito yung gagamitin natin kasi hindi given yung ating future value, kundi ang given natin dito is the interest. Take note, it is the amount, okay? It is the amount earned. So that means ito yung ating yung ating interest, okay? Ito yung ating interest which is 11,000. So in that case, ito yung gagamitin natin. P is equal to I over RT. So, ang next natin gagawin, since alam naman natin that this is our formula, so what we're going to do is we just simply plug in. I-plug in lang natin ang ating mga given values. So, of course, we have the I, okay, yung interest natin, 11,200. then over 0.07, the rate, then times t, or the time, which is 2. So what we're going to do is i-plug in lang natin yan sa ating calculator. Let's see kung anong answer natin. Of course, we have 11,200. Okay, 11,200 over 0.07 times 2. Okay, so let's see what's the answer. Let's click equal. Okay, let's click equal. So that is 80,000 pesos. So therefore, ang principal amount natin, okay, ang principal amount natin is equal to 80,000. Okay, so that means, okay, for our conclusion, that means the amount invested, okay, the amount invested is 80,000 pesos. Okay, so that means that is the amount of money that was originally invested. Okay, para maka-earn ng interest ng 11,200 pesos. Okay, so that's the answer for this example. Now, let's proceed to our second example. Okay, so here we have, if a 9-month term deposit at a bank with simple interest rate of 9% per annum, okay, that's per annum, so that means per year. So how much will have to be deposited, okay? How much to be have deposited to earn 225 pesos of interest, okay? So again, take note, ang hinahanap natin dito is the amount, okay? The amount of money, okay? The amount of money to be deposited. So that means clearly, ang hahanapin natin dito is the present value, okay? Or the principal amount. Now, since alam natin kung ano yung goal natin, kung ano yung kailangan natin i-solve, so therefore, ang next natin gagawin is to identify ano yung mga given sa ating problem. Of course, we have again the interest earned, which is 225 pesos. Okay, then we also have the rate of interest, which is 9%. When we convert lang natin yan to decimal, we just simply divide 9 over 100, that is equal to 0.09. Okay, so that's our R. Next, also, we have the T. Take note, guys, ang T natin dito is a 9-month term deposit. Okay, that's the term, 9 month. So therefore, take note, ang T natin dapat always in year. So what we are going to do is, we just simply divide 9 over 12 para ma-convert natin yan to year. So that is 0.75. So that means ang value ng T natin is 0.75 years. Okay? So, again, meron na tayong needed information natin to solve for the principal amount or the present value. So what we are going to do is to solve now what's our principal amount or the present value. So in this case, again, since given yung interest natin, hindi future value, so that means ang gagamitin natin na formula is, again, this one. Principal amount is equal to interest over rate times time. Okay, so we just need to do is i-plug in lang natin ang ating mga given values. Of course, we have the interest, 225. Then we also have the rate, which is 0.09. Then, of course, we have the time, which is 0.75 years. And all we need to do is i-plug in lang natin yan sa ating calculator. So we have 225 over times, then 0.09 times 0.75. Click equal. Let's see what's the answer. Of course, let's convert this one to decimal. So we have, yeah. So we have 3,000. Okay, so that means our answer is 3,333.33 pesos. Okay, so i-ano lang natin, i-round off lang natin to 2 decimal places. So in this case, okay, so that means for our conclusion is 3,333.33 pesos must be placed in the 9-month term deposit to earn 225 of interest. So that means ito yung kakailanganin natin i-deposit, okay? Ito yung kailangan natin na i-deposit para maka-earn ng interest ng 225 pesos, okay, in 9 months. Okay, 9 months term deposit. Okay, so that's the answer for our second example. Now let's proceed to our third example. Okay, what is the present value of 5,275 due in 6 months if 11% interest is paid? Okay? So again, ang kailangan nating isolve dito is the present value. Okay? So what is the present values? Therefore, ang goal natin is to find the value of P. Okay? Now, ang next natin gagawin is to identify what are the given. What are the given in the problem? Of course, ang first given natin dyan is the future value, which is equal to 5,275 pesos because this is the amount paid on the due date. And next we have the rate, which is 11%. So to convert this one to decimal, ang gagawin lang natin is i-divide lang natin si 11 by 100 and that will give us 0.11. So that means this is the value of our R. And we also have, of course, the T, which is in 6 months. Again, since ang T natin is in 6 months, so kailangan natin yan i-convert to year kasi yung T natin is always in year. So 6 divided by 12, that is equal to 0.5 or 1/2 year. So that's the value of our T. Now, as you can see dito, ang given natin is the future value, the rate, and T. Now to solve, okay, to solve for the P, again, since ang goal natin is to solve for the P, we cannot use the usual formula to compute the interest because hindi given si interest dito. Kundi ang given is the future values. That means, ang gagamitin natin na formula is dapat the formula for the future value, which is equal to F is equal to P times 1 plus RT. So from this formula, i-derive natin ang formula on how to compute the P or the present value. So in this case, ang formula natin is P is equal to F over 1 plus RT. Paano yan kinuha? Of course, ang ginawa lang dito sa original formula, okay, if nakalimutan natin yon, is we just need to i-divide lang natin both sides by 1 plus RT and that will leave us sa left side, sa right side na P lang. Okay, so ito yung result natin for the formula for the present value, which is P is equal to F over 1 plus RT. Okay? So now, ang next natin gagawin dito, of course, it's meron na tayong formula na gagamitin for the present value. So ang next natin gagawin is, of course, i-plug lang natin ating mga given. Okay? Of course, we have here our given future value, 5,275 pesos, our F. And of course, we have the R. Okay? Ang R natin dyan is 0.11. Okay? This is our R. And also we have ang T natin 0.5. Okay? So since kompleto na to, so what we are going to do is i-plug natin yan sa ating calculator. Let's see kung anong answer natin. Okay? So we have 5,275 over 1 plus 0.11 times 0.5. Click equal. Let's see what's our answer. So that is equal to 5,000 pesos. So that means ang present value natin dyan is 5,000 pesos. Now for our conclusion, para sa ating conclusion, the present value, okay, the present value is 5,000 pesos. So that's our final answer for this one. Okay? So that's how, you compute for the present value. Now, on my next lesson, we are going to discuss naman on how to compute the future value. So please don't forget to check my next video. See you guys.